Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Grow Through It podcast. My name is Julia, and today we're diving into something that has felt very real for me lately: the power of showing up when you don't feel like it. I want to be honest with you, I haven't felt super motivated recently. With everything going on in my life, I've been in a bit of a funk. And when I'm in this state, even simple things feel heavy. It's hard to want to get up, follow through, or even care about the things I usually love. And I know I'm not the only one who's been there. Whether it's the workout, the hard conversation, the project you've been putting off, or even just getting out of bed, there are days when you just don't want to do it. But I've learned that these are the exact moments when the most powerful shifts can happen, if we lean in even just a little. And this episode isn't coming from a place of, I've got it all figured out. It's coming from real life, real resistance, and real emotions. If you're in a similar season, I hope this episode gives you some perspective, permission, and a little bit of a push too. So today I'm going to talk about why it's so difficult to show up, what happens when we do it anyway, how we can make it easier, and give you a few tools that have really helped me lately. Before we dive in, I want you to reflect for a moment. Where in your life are you avoiding showing up right now? It could be something small or something really important to you. Pause if you need to and write it down. Hold that thought in your mind while you listen to this episode. So why is it so hard to show up? There are a number of reasons for this. Fear is a major factor. Fear can paralyze you to the point where you can't even start. Maybe you're afraid of failing, afraid of what someone might say. You might even be afraid to succeed. You could also be experiencing self-doubt. Maybe you just don't believe in yourself enough. You don't think you're good enough to do it. Perfectionism can also be a huge factor. Sometimes I just want something to be so perfect that I overwhelm myself so much to the point where I don't even know where to start. Another piece I want to mention here is shame. Shame tells us that we should have already done it, that we're already behind. And when we feel shame, we tend to avoid more, not less. So it becomes this cycle. We feel bad for not doing it, so we keep not doing it, and then we feel worse. If this is you, I've been there. Let this be your permission to break the cycle today, even with the smallest step. You could also be exhausted or stressed. When we are in these lower states, it's very difficult to find the motivation and drive to get things done. For me, like I said, I've been in a bit of a funk. I am under a lot of stress and dealing with a lot of emotions. So it's more difficult for me to want to get up and go do the things I said I was going to do. Some days I just want to lay in bed and cry. Some days I just want to veg out and watch TV. Although I do think doing these things sometimes is okay, if I let myself get stuck in this, it's very hard for me to get out. I don't do this longer than a day max, but sometimes it's just for a few hours. There have been many times in my life where I didn't want to show up, but I did anyways. For example, just today I had to have a difficult conversation with someone. I had had a very emotional and intense weekend, and I did not feel like I was in a good state to have a conversation with this person. However, I didn't really have a choice. I guess I could have avoided it, but that would have caused way bigger issues down the road. So I called them anyway. I was very anxious, but I knew I just had to do it. And guess what? I didn't die. I didn't even get upset. The conversation went much better than I thought it would. It got resolved, and now I don't need to deal with it anymore. But if I hadn't made that phone call, I would have caused so much more stress for myself in the future, and it would not have been good. That's something I remind myself a lot. Discomfort won't kill me. It might feel heavy or intense in the moment, but more often than not, that tension dissolves the second you take action. Avoidance just stretches it out longer. There have also been times when I didn't show up. I can think of one major example. In one of my businesses, I've been lacking majorly. Fear and self-doubt get the best of me, so I don't show up in the way I want to. And I constantly regret it. Each month, I regret not hitting my target goals. I regret not working as hard as I should. Does this sound familiar to you? You are definitely not alone in this. Certain projects or business ideas get put on the back burner constantly because of the reasons I mentioned. This is so common. It is also so normal to have off days. So if you are struggling with this, know you are not alone. Now let's talk about what happens when we do show up, regardless of if we want to or not. I want you to think of one moment in your life where you pushed through resistance and it worked out better than you thought, even if it was small. That moment is evidence. Use it. Remind yourself that if you've done it before, you can do it again. When we show up, our energy shifts from I didn't want to I'm glad I did. There has never, ever been a time when I regretted showing up for myself. It also builds self-trust, consistency, and confidence. When you show up, you are proving to yourself that you can do hard things. Today, when I had to make that difficult phone call, I felt so much better after. I felt more confident in myself, and I was proud of myself too. When you show up during difficult times, it also doesn't have to mean that you show up 100%. Showing up could just mean that you literally just showed up. You made it there. It could mean doing 15 minutes of focused work. It could mean exercising for 20 minutes. You don't need to show up 100% every single time. Start slow. Or if you are going through a hard time, give yourself grace and celebrate showing up at all. Often though, when you show up, even if it's just in a small way, that can shift into more. For example, if you go for a 10-minute walk, after a while you might say, maybe I can do 5 extra minutes. And you keep saying that until you reach 30. This often happens to me. Or maybe not, and you just do the 10 minutes. Either way, it's okay. But momentum is magic. Motivation often doesn't come before action. It comes after it. So don't wait for the energy. Create it. Your brain loves to finish what it starts, so just getting going is sometimes all you need. Maybe instead of an intense cardio workout, you go for a walk instead. Maybe instead of scrolling TikTok, you pause and journal for a few minutes. You could show up creatively, even when you feel uninspired. Sometimes I don't feel like working on my podcast, but once I get going, I find the motivation. Sometimes I don't, and I leave it for another day, but at least I showed up and tried. And don't get me wrong, I love my podcast, but there's just some days where I just don't feel like talking. Now let's talk about how we can make showing up easier. I already mentioned one of these, but setting minimums is a great way to start. For example, set a minimum time of 5 minutes for whatever you're avoiding. Like I said, this can turn into more, or you might just show up for 5 minutes. Either way, you still showed up. You can try habit stacking. Work it into your current schedule. If you're avoiding meditating, get into the habit of meditating for 3 minutes after you brush your teeth at night. Doing it after a current habit can help build a new habit. Also, even if you don't fully meditate, you can just sit there for 3 minutes and at least you're still showing up. Having an accountability person or just being accountable to anything can help too. I use a habit app and I check off each day when I'm done the things I want to do. This helps show me what I am not doing, and I love the satisfaction of checking something off. You can do this with someone else too. Ask a friend or partner to check in with you about a specific thing you want to do. Being accountable to someone else is a great motivator. If you don't have someone in your circle who feels like a good accountability partner, even just talking out loud about your goal can help. Or write it down and stick it somewhere visible. This could be your mirror, your phone background, or wherever you'll see it daily. You could also get involved in community. Maybe you want to run more but have been feeling unmotivated. Join a run club. That way you are way more likely to show up because people are waiting for you. It is also crucial to create a why that's stronger than your excuses. This past weekend, I hurt my knee hiking. Again. I did this last summer, but since my car accident, I haven't had any issues with it since I haven't been using it. However, this hike really did it in. I was in so much pain. I had a long talk with Paul about it, and I realized how essential it is for me to get better physically. We realized that we just can't hike together when I'm injured because it causes us both to be upset. Hiking together is something that is extremely important for both of us. So knowing we can't do that until I'm healed was a huge eye-opener. This is one of my whys for getting better. So now I have created a physio plan that I am committing to every single day. Your why doesn't have to be big or dramatic. It just has to matter to you. Maybe it's being able to play with your kids without pain. Maybe it's feeling proud of yourself again. Maybe it's proving to your past self that you're capable. It is also important to prep for the hard days when you're feeling good. For me, this looks like pre-recording episodes when I can. Life gets busy. Some days I am not in the headspace to record an episode, so by pre-recording them on days I'm feeling good, this allows me to show up better for my audience and for myself. This could also look like meal prepping. Prep those meals in advance so when you're busy or feeling low, it's already done for you. I feel like when I talk about this kind of thing, I have a good balance between pushing yourself and also allowing for grace and rest. Like I said, sometimes I allow myself a few hours or even a day to do nothing at all. That is totally okay. Again, you just can't let yourself stay in that for too long. You also have to know yourself. I know if I spend more than a day doing this, I will get stuck in it. For you, it could be that you can't spend more than 2 hours doing this. Everyone is going to be different. You also have to know when you're just avoiding something because of fear, self-doubt, perfectionism, stress, fatigue, and when you truly need rest and grace. Only you know the answer to that. So here's a gentle nudge to check in with yourself right now and ask, am I avoiding this because I need rest or because I'm scared? You can even journal that question. Don't judge the answer, just get honest with it. I want to leave you with a few quick mindset shifts that have really helped me show up, especially on the days I don't feel like it. Feel free to jot these down or pick one that resonates most today. Number 1, I'll just do 5 minutes. This takes the pressure off. You're not committing to everything, just a little bit. And usually, once you start, like I said, you keep going. Number 2, action creates clarity. If you're feeling overwhelmed or stuck, remember that clarity doesn't come before action, it often comes because of it. Number 3, done is better than perfect. Perfectionism can be paralyzing. Remind yourself that showing up messy is better than not showing up at all. Number 4, future me will thank me. This one helps me connect to my long-term goals. Think about how good it will feel to have followed through, even just a little bit. Number 5, it's okay to do it badly. Not everything has to be your best. Progress counts, even if it's awkward or imperfect. Number 6, I can do hard things and I've done them before. Bring up that evidence. Remind yourself of a past moment you pushed through resistance. If you did it then, you can do it now. Try picking one of those reframes the next time you're dragging your feet or stuck in a funk. You don't need to feel motivated, you just need to move. Even a tiny step counts. One thing I really want to reiterate is that you don't need to feel 100% to take action. Start with 5 minutes. Ask a friend for help. Take the tips I mentioned in this episode and apply them. What is one thing you can commit to showing up for today? Send me a DM on Instagram or share to your story about how you're showing up. I want to end with a quote. You don't have to be perfect to be powerful. You just have to show up. That is it for today's episode. I really hope it helps you show up, whatever that looks like for you. If you have any questions, feel free to DM me on Instagram. You can find me at growthroughit.pod. If you enjoyed this episode, I would be so grateful if you would rate, review, follow, or subscribe, and share it with someone you think would benefit from it. You can suggest future topic ideas or ask questions using the anonymous link in the show notes. Thank you so much for listening, and remember that you are worthy. See you next time.